Men of Reddit, what do women do that they think is okay but is actually creepy? Not exclusively a woman thing. But my ex would screenshot our text conversations and send them to her family and friends for reaction. Like mundane conversations. Not even anything interesting. It felt like a very creepy violation of my privacy. Also, she was an idiot. Hope you see this, Laura. Going to pride events / gay bars and groping the men whether they like it or not, like duck off. Creep. Failing to realize that sometimes free time needs to be me time and shouldn't automatically be she time. You have to install this GPS tracking app on your phone so I know where you are anytime I want to check. A few of my relationships have ended because my GFS wouldn't talk to me about an issue in our relationship. Which is weird cause supposedly that's a male trait. I just don't like confrontation. Well, the alternative is that I'm breaking up with you now because you've avoided talking to me about the issue for a few months when I keep trying to bring it up. So, unwanted physical contact. Was out to dinner with a bunch of friends, coincidentally. They were all women. And the waitress was hitting on me. Which involved obvious compliments, which I don't care about, and putting her hands all over my shoulders and upper chest. We all had a laugh about it after. But I was seriously weirded out by it. And were the genders reversed, I guarantee no one would have been laughing about it. I'd wager that most women wouldn't do this and wouldn't think this is okay. But my, now ex-girlfriend went through my phone without asking for permission. As a gay guy, women seem to think that it's okay to touch me, in a general way, and sometimes even in a more inappropriate way. Lady, I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. Sure, we had a nice brief conversation, but don't touch me. Don't wrap your hands around my legs so you can gawk at the size of my legs. Don't squeeze my pec. Or think that I want a hug despite never having met you before. I am avoiding physical contact not only to be respectful of your boundaries, but because I also have boundaries I don't want you to violate. Consent works both ways. Always. Don't touch me. Ask their friends to give them explicit details of their sexual encounters, especially if it's with a BF. When women say things like "if I were 10 years younger" about underage boys, it's creepy. Gives off pedo vibes. And if the genders were reversed, you'd call the FBI. Ex demanded I take down of a single picture of a platonic female friend who I have known over a decade and who is happily married to a mutual friend of ours. Said picture was part of a cluster of 8 total. The other 7 pictures were just group pictures of said platonic friend and mostly other male friends. Straight girls who go to gay bars to be all like his Queen Yobu, and straight girls who go to lesbian bars and get offended when a girl hits on them. Perving on men. So many times in the workplace I have heard women say what they would like to do to a certain man. Almost drooling in public. If a man said the same comments, they would be fired. Well, not creepy, but could get me in trouble. Underage dating while imposing like you're 18 plus. Setting up traps to test us. Being upset with something we did / said in your dreams. Lying to our faces when we ask direct questions like, "What is wrong? How are you?" etc. The admin assistant in my office tells me to smile at least once a week when I walk past her desk. Go duck yourself. Not creepy, but when a woman sees a single dad with his kid and feels it's okay to tell them they are doing great, I get they may feel like they are being supportive or whatever, but the stigma behind guys not knowing how to raise a child is infuriating. I have 50/50 custody of my child and she's raised brilliantly by both me and her mom. I can guarantee mom never gets random praises just for walking through a shop with our child though. It's not supportive. It's condescending as hell, and please stop. Late to the party, but I haven't seen this mentioned yet. Distributing nudes they get from guys to their friends without permission. I've caught several women doing it and they'll argue about it if asked to stop. Yet another example of it only being an issue if the genders are reversed. Honestly, hands down, women who exploit emotions of men. We may not all cry in a movie theater, But we are not incapable of experiencing deep painful emotional wounds. In general, it seems to be more acceptable for women to rag on guys for our image, like our height, weight, or income, while the flip side being that men cannot criticize women without being a pig. So yeah, women who nitpick guys for superficial reasons are creepy, arrogant, and covered with more red flags than a game of Minesweeper. I've had this happen a few times, but I don't know if it is more common or less common. When I go to a bar for a drink on, say, a Friday night, I usually go with friends. I'll head to the bathroom and sometimes the bar will be crowded, so I'll have to slip through a group of people. Several times I'll get rubbed or caressed by women. Sometimes on the groin. Sometimes on the chest or shoulders. It's not wanted, nor am I signaling I want to be touched. Just saying excuse me and going past. It bothers me every time. Touching me when you're a complete stranger. I'm in really good shape, and the amount of women who would touch my arms, shoulders, and chest when I'm out was too high. Don't touch my hair. Just don't. I know it's long and partially dyed and you might think that's cool or unusual for a male. But please don't touch it, I get extremely uncomfortable. Telling you how you feel because you didn't do something trivial. You don't love me. You didn't call me before you went to bed. No. I ducking fell asleep because I was exhausted. Now I'm awake. Still here. Still love you. Let's not make it a thing. Used to work for in an office full of women. There were 2 other men. But I was the only fit young guy, 30. They'd routinely comment about my physique. Gawking. Touching. Many of them married and / or church-going type. Women can be just as creepy as men. Always asking if I got flirted with. No matter where I go. Did anyone flirt with you? What the hell? It's flag football. Who would flirt with me at flag football? Being addicted to social media. Mostly Instagram. Like, the worst one is my phone is never on quiet, and anytime any notifications appears she looks at it no matter what you were talking about. And then, even if one has better manners, like having the phone on silent and can be without it for the first hour of the dinner. Then dessert comes and I have to go pee. I come back. She's scrolling, commenting, posting, everything, and acts like I am interested in what someone comment and spends the rest of the night with her phone in her hands. I read through most of the comments and I cannot believe I haven't found this. This has become so common in Central and Western Europe. Acting like mental illness is a personality trait. Such as, I'm sorry I said all those nasty things earlier. But I'm bipolar, so it's okay and I didn't mean it. Tell me that my almost 2-year-old son is so handsome and going to break hearts / be a lady killer. If I rolled up to a park and told a mom how good looking her daughter was and that all the boys are going to want her, they'd call the cops. Passive aggressiveness. I.e. pretending everything's fine, even though they are upset about something, for good or bad reasons, while holding back on friendliness. Becoming cold, evasive, distant. If I did something wrong, let me know what it is, or move on, but don't get back to me in a stealth way. Okay, so this is something both me and my brother had happened to us. We are both pretty young, around 20. But we were at some parties where people of all ages were around recently. At one party, we had just finished performing with our orchestra and we were still in our uniforms. Then when I was getting some beers, some random lady of over 40 said to me, "Would you like to change clothes? I want to look like I am in the orchestra." So naturally, I'm like, well, I'd rather not, but she was like, "Oh please." And she kept on trying to talk to me. On another party, some lady, also of over 40, who was really seeking attention, started to hold my brother by the waist. My brother told me he was really weirded out by her. She tried to do this multiple times, even after I lured my brother away by pretending I needed to say something to him. I don't really know if this is something a lot of middle-aged ladies do, but them acting like that really weirded me out. and they seem to do this as if it was the most normal thing in the world. Those women who will go after everything in a divorce. The ones who try to leave the guy with nothing. Touch us in any way that would be uncomfortable if we did it to them. I dislike my lower back being touched by strangers. As well. Tickling and getting pissed when I don't like it. Girl, I don't like getting tickled. I really hate it. I don't care that it's some way to show affection, I don't want it, and for duck's sake it's not my problem and I don't have to man up and take it. What the hell, no means no. Funny that this is under controversial while the question asking women the same question about men is upvoted a ton. Trying to isolate us from friends, especially other women, and family because they want us to focus on the relationship and prioritizing her emotional needs over everybody else in our lives. It's under the guise of wanting to develop a bond and get to know us better. But if you're paying attention, you can tell what's really going on. And also, having gone through copious amounts of domestic violence training at work, both as a requirement for employment and as part of the job since I record trainings, it is painfully obvious that this is something men do all the time to control women. Most of this thread consists of things which aren't limited by gender. Treating firemen in a way that you don't want to be treated, as a soulless piece of meat for sexual desire. I get why women don't like that, we don't either. Catcalling. It's as creepy and unsettling, albeit usually flattering as well, for men as it is for women. In that same vein, anything women think is creepy when done to them is probably creepy if done to men too.